Good morning, traders. This is Perry Wilkie with StartupTrading.com. It is 8:52 a.m. Eastern Time on the last day of the month, August 31st. So, as we look at just this channel that we've been in, and I'll zoom out in a second, but we come into the very tippy top of the buy zone on August 19th, come back up, and we finally hit the trend line of the uptrend, uh, which we've been right against the top of the uptrend channel for quite some time, about 18 months now. So as we look at this, we finally hit this. So, you know, if we're going to get a larger pullback, and this channel is basically 300 points from tip to tip. So 300 points on a 4,500 base is less than 10%, but over 5 for sure, right? 7.5 or so. You can do the math. But as we come in, if we can hit the top of the channel, right, and go to the bottom of the channel, that's going to be a pretty good pullback. So what's been happening, the last time we hit near the top of this channel was back in May, right? Ever since then, when we've been hitting these buys, we've been hitting the trend line itself, and then spending some time bumping against it, falling back into the buy zone, hitting the trend line, riding it for a while, coming back into the buy zone, and rinse and repeat. So we finally hit this. This has been only a few days up here, so we'll see. I would say potentially we could get a red candle, maybe some overhead supply, but I will be more shocked than anything if this produces either this week, uh, even though next week is rollover. Where is it? Let me. So if we look at the calendar here, we've got rollover is going to be the 9th and the 10th, and this option or this contract is going to expire on the opening bell, he says gracefully, on Friday the 17th, right? Then we're going to have the FOMC on Wednesday the 22nd. So we got rollover the 9th and 10th, options and quad witch on the 17th, and then FOMC on the 22nd. So I don't think we're breaking this trend line before the FOMC that's been intact as we go back and look at it, if I can. Since basically April 14th of last year, right? We've been riding this linear regression channel up. So what I would suspect is what I'm looking for. Can we get some overhead supply? We got non-farm payroll this Friday. Can we get some overhead supply? I don't think we're going to make it back to this buy zone. So if we zoom back in here again, this buy zone, the very tippy top, which is what all we hit last time, will be down at 4,400. So that I wouldn't look for much below that. And mind you, that's 120 points away from where we're currently trading and 142 points off of the top. So I don't even think we can take out these lows, to be honest with you. In the next day or two, that's 44.68. Taking out these lows, though, that's going to be really where its speed is going to pick up for a little bit, and I would say down to 44.36. That will shake some traders out, and then on a more substantial pullback, right around 44.15. But that's 105 points down. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves. I don't think we're going to be able to get much below, like I said, right now. 4,500, 44.95 is where I would be looking to step in either, whenever that happens this week on a first test. So looking at the mid-range time frames, and this will be a little bit of a help on the Russell and the Dow, but not so much on the ES or the NASDAQ. So we've broken out finally above 2252 as we look at this and come back up. We couldn't get anything going above 2283, come back down, and now we've lost this 2267. And these levels didn't trade very cleanly, but they're basically zones where, just back of the napkin eyeballs. would you rather be, long above it or short below it? So we could be coming into a retest of 52, and to be honest with you, 55, 54 would be really where I'd be interested in looking at a first test right in that area for it. And I think that you're going to have a very difficult time anytime soon getting below 2241.80. So again, nothing going on basic support and resistance for the ES, so we'll have to rely on other technical analysis. Nothing going on for the NASDAQ as far as basic support and resistance. For the Dow, 35,275 to 35,390, and I would just look at these this basic. I might even add. I should go ahead and just add this in. I'll do it later. Right around 35,340 is going to be on an above or below zone between those levels, and then getting back, you can see there's some consternation. The next mid level I look at is 35,169. Looking at the overnight action, 26.25 points. However, we did get above the profit target of 45.36, rejected off of it. But we had some single prints in yesterday's session. So far, all we've done is come back down and tested this lower distribution. So if you look at where the single print is for the ES, look at your gap fill. So what turns you red to green, right? That's going to be really the line in the sand for the very early and opening bell. We also tagged value area low. I promise I haven't been drinking yet. But as we come back down, that gap fill settlement is going to be really the line in the sand to see if we're going to have some weight on today's session or not. And the same thing for the NASDAQ. We've come back down. We've hit the single prints. We've only hit the top of these single prints. So there's been no damage whatsoever done in the overnight session to the NASDAQ. And looking at the Dow, very similar picture. We've hit the top of the single print. So basically, if you look at these single print boxes, until you start developing time and energy below them, there's nothing going on to the downside, right? That's what you need to get below to develop overhead supply. Unless you start getting down there, you're not building any overhead supply at this point in time. We do have around 210,000 contracts that went off in the overnight session, so we'll see what happens. But these sellers, and what we should look at is on the ES and potentially the Dow, right? Can these halfway back shorts hold? That's going to be the first tell if algos are trying to step in and keep this bid down a little bit today. But use these single prints, use the halfway back markers coming out of the high for the ES and the Dow, and we'll take it from there. But so far, the action is still very bullish in this session. So don't let this 3 a.m., 2 a.m. sell-off make you think otherwise. Again, if the ES gets stuck below or stays red and starts printing below 45.10, that's when you can start looking for more bearish setups. I hope this helps. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.